There's been enough sacrifice for one day. We must take the chance we've been given and defeat Zervan now.
Oh fuck. Ow. That's kinda spicy. Alright. Here comes...
Good and evil, the war eternal.
Oh, yep.
My doubt is fled.
Boo, boo, boo. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Whew, that's spicy. Fuck me, I'm fucked up my wave cannon. Let's see. Okay. Alright, no one wants to do the mechanic. Alright, cool. That's definitely cool. Bum, 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 bum.
I shall rise above all.
Alright, there's the ad face now.
Bear witness to my will.
Boo, 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 boo. Bum, 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 bum. At this part, this was
Bow to my
amazing.
infallible judgment. Suffer in endless torment.
So I have ice. If my memory serves me right, broken seal. Have to do mechanics. Southern Cross. Okay, now I remember that phrase. So, okay. Wave cannon is basically. Okay, no one's gonna do that. Alright, cool. Ouch!
Suffer in endless torment.
Oh god, that hurt. Oh.
If such is my fate.
Even though I usually don't want to show it during the thing, I should just kind of commendate people. Oh well. Anyways. Incredible as always, Akira. However, that will be the last our world sees of the Knights of Zervin. Every one of his thralls has been slain. As far as we can determine, our victory over the Warring Triads is complete. An impossible feat had we not been blessed with your cooperation. Let us not forget the efforts of Rigola von Hydrus and his men. Without their noble sacrifice, the demon would have awoken far sooner and possessed the far more formidable energies. The bodies of the fallen now accompany the survivors of the return journey to Garlemald. It is known that the Imperials recognize no god, yet they would honor the dead in their own fashion. And when next we meet, our fleeting alliance will surely be forgotten. 'Twas an interesting exchange, nonetheless. They spoke of their present ruler as a man who values self-sufficiency. Varys befriended Regula in their youth, it seems, and was highly impressed by his martial prowess. 'Tis common knowledge that Regula's rise to legatus was in the great part of advocated by the emperor himself. Regula really admitted his shortcomings when it came to politics, and it was Varys's unconditional support that served to win his undying featly. One does not expect such tales of comradeship to lurk beneath the emperor's iron exterior. Contrary to all expectation, the man died a hero. Witnessing the way you all leapt into danger without hesitation, it would seem I am surrounded by heroes. And yet my actions were aught but heroic. I have not the qualities nor the chance to stand at the warrior of light's side. What a curious thing to say. Are you truly concerned that you do not measure up to some arbitrary requirement? If you knew of the path that I walked to reach this place, then you would understand why I doubt myself so. Return to me to the rising stones, and I shall tell you of it. Okay, let's return to the rising stones. Let me just drink a little bit to lubricate my throat. There we go. Bum 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 bum. Oh, I almost talked to as I said. With your victory over Servan, the warring triad is finally defeated. I am afraid, however, that mine own efforts have often been more hindrance than help, and you and your fellow Scions deserve to hear the reasons behind my actions. I'm guessing he just comes from the past. Probably. I promise to tell you my journey, of whom I am, or where I am from. The truth is, I am not of this world. I was born of a different star, a child whose power of the echo was too feebly to save his dying world. A child who, unlike you, never became a warrior of light. When all I knew stood on the brink of destruction, I was yet half grown. Had I been born but a handful of years earlier, history may have written a different tale. The seeds of other heroes that had yet to fully sprout may not have withered and perished. The star I failed to save is known to you now as the Void. Shocking. Though Akira knew not that I spoke of my homeland, I have explained to her before the cause of its ruin. A magic was devised to contain a defeated primal's might within a stone known as Orosite. And with the energies which bled from this imperfect vessel gradually corrupted the champions who wielded it. These heroes became slaves to an insatiable hunger for ether, eventually transforming into hideous fiends, and now none who clung to the faint traces of light were strong enough to oppose them. The demons next turned upon each other in a war which drained the land's ether in ever greater amounts, until one day the star was suddenly swallowed in a flood of darkness, an entire world unmade in an instant. The voicent who encountered here in the realm are the twisted remnants of once mortal beings who gnaw of the moths of life force remain. And as I lay dying, beaten and broken in my failed last stand, 'twas a white-robed Asian who found my torment spirit and bore me away to the rift betwixt worlds. Elidibus has been my master ever since. At my mentor's feet did I learn of the nature of reality, of the existence of mirrored worlds, and the eternal struggle between dark and light. Suddenly overwhelming superiority for either side will shatter the balance, and the world in question will be returned to the void by calamity beyond imagining. As the self-appointed custodian of this balance, my master warned me that the source, the first of all worlds, slips perilously close to oblivion. In what spirit did this master proffer such a warning? A benevolent gesture or veiled threat? To these questions and more do I mean to coax forth answers. Yet no matter his intentions, that Highland doth tether on a knife's edge is an undeniable truth. Knowing this, what choice was given to you to make? I chose to join my master and act as his instrument on this star. The tragedy that befell my home cannot be repeated. I will see this world saved. And yet I hesitated at the most crucial of moments. What right have I to stand alongside a true warrior of light? In thine own words, thou wert called before thy time, and I offer that thou dwellest over much on the question of what maketh the hero. The search for the answer leadeth thee paralyzed by doubt. Heed me, Master Una Kalhai. Thou needest not believe thyself a hero to perform great deeds. 'Tis the deed itself which earneth thee the hero's mantle. Aye, the ideals you hold can be less important than having the faith to act upon them. Regula's loyalty to the Emperor guided his actions until the last, and though we did not see eye to eye on many things, his final deeds can be called not less than heroic. Personally, I find the faith in my companions allow me Allow me to act unhindered by uncertainty. I know that should I ever falter, Akira and the others will be there to support me or steer me back in onto the right path if needed. I see. In the days leading up to my world's destruction, I was entirely alone. I never knew what it was to have such comrades. I cannot imagine the loneliness you must have felt. But look around you now, Unakalhai. You're not alone anymore. Welcome to the science of the seventh dawn. I will fulfill my promise to save this world, and when I stumble, I shall be glad to have your hands there to steady me. My apologies, this is difficult for me. For so long have I spoken from behind a mask. We should all feel comfortable speaking without such concealments. I should hope you appreciate the irony of that statement, Oranje. Yes. Alright. Anything demonic duplicate. So these are basically the extreme versions, which I have no interest in doing as of yet. So let's continue to the Sea of Clouds and proceed to the last remaining Triforman raid, which is... I don't know if it really gonna say it. Is it gonna say it? Okay. We are almost there. We're almost finished with Heavensward. Bum, bum, ba-dum. Bum, ba, ba, bum, 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 bum. Akira, Cat says had just sent me out to find you. You've a proper knack for showing up at just the right time. You know that. Anyway, Cat says cracked open that tome. What we've got from Radlia, and has been studying all the Nullstone's secrets. He thinks he may be onto something important, not just concerning Diablos and the Shadow Queen, but also the cat itself. Come on back to the Perrock, and we can all hear what he has to say together. Bum 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 bum. As I suspected, this tome was penned by a Mahadshi sorcerer of superior standing, as well as detailing the methods of which the full power of the Nullstone might be unleashed. Its pages also contain a number of revelations concerning my master, High Void Mage Caesar. If these histories are to be trusted, then it seems that Caesar herself was responsible for summoning Diablos. But I thought you said your master was opposed to supporting the war effort. Why would she be the one to call up that bat-winged monster? Caesar only agreed to the ritual as a means to bring the conflict to an early resolution. From what I can glean from these passages, Diablos was intended as a bluff, a threat that was never to be exercised. But those arrogant imbeciles ignored my master's careful laid restrictions and elected to unleash the fiend upon Amdapor. I was within Caesar's moved to protest this act that she was branded a traitor and imprisoned. A future dungeon we might have to do. Once they had contained the opposition, the Void Mages studied all manner of otherworldly arts at the tailored feet of their new pet, the most dangerous of which was the rite of summoning Scat Hotch and the method of chaining her power. Yet, even after all they had perpetrated, these ambitious fools had the gall to come crawling to Caesar's when the coming of the great floods was predicted. They begged her to take control of the Void Ark for the salvation of the Mahadshi people. As you saw for yourself, however, the energies of the Shadow Queen broke loose and turned the vessel into a derelict nest of void scent. It seems obvious now that the arts taught by Diablos were deliberately flawed. The only saving grace in all this madness was when that damnable fiend was sealed away by the white mages of Amdapor. I shudder to think what would have happened had he been reunited with his queen. So now, 1,500 years later, Diablos is looking to finish what he started. I thought that bat-faced bastard was just some opportunistic underling, but it turns out he's the main villain behind this whole mess. Were Caesar alive today, she would accept responsibility for unleashing Diablos upon the world. As the High Void Mage's familiar, it is my duty to act in her stead. I have deciphered the secrets of the Nullstone, and with its undiluted power shall I erase Diablos from existence. Heh! I like your spirit, puss, but try not to rush too quickly. Getting yourself killed won't do us or your master any good. Ba ba da ba ba. Wait. No one's rushing in anywhere just yet. Or have you forgotten that we're still in the middle of scouting out the fiend's lair? We've got the compass to go by, but who knows what kind of place it'll lead us, or how many demons will be lying in wait when we get there. We fly with our eyes open, or risk getting slaughtered just like the Talons. Oh yes, speaking of which, the tome made mention of a potential location for Leoford. Ouch, he's behind you. Yeah, curse you, fiend. Bum, 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 bum. At long last. This is far from over, demon. We'll not allow an abomination like the Shadow Queen to rule this world. Then thou knowest not of ruling. It is might which decideth domination. But believe what thou mayest, frail creature, you are playthings. Your screams of denial shall amuse me as I send this rock and all upon it to shatter upon the ground below. Guts, is that Radlia? Where she's been hiding that ship? That's a huge ship. I would not tire my arm with the swatting of some many flies. The known stone is mine, and there is yet much to be done. Hey, it's Riley. What's up, girl? Would you look at the sorry excuse for a sky pirate I knew Red Bill and his rat tag crew couldn't be trusted with saving the skies. I ain't a healer, but I'd say you've broken your arm, a couple of ribs, and bruised half of your innards. We need to get you some splints and bandages. With how are there still so many talents? I thought they were massacred at Mahachi. The loss of Nanoso is on my head, and I shall see that we win it back. Well, ain't I a lucky sod? 2 demons in one day. Found some new dogs to lick your boots, Radlia. Is that any way to welcome me back into your life? You needed allies, and persuading our reluctant fellows to join in common purpose is a feat only a woman of my charming beauty could accomplish. And besides, you look too injured to be of use to anyone. You'd best take to your bed, old man, and let me and your champion take care of the void scent. What? So you can tuck tail and run away at the first sight of trouble? You'd not even be standing there if it weren't for me, and even with my arm busted up, I'm still twice the pirate you are. Nay, I think you should stay behind this time, Leoford. We must pursue Diablos without you. Time is of the essence, and we cannot afford to wait for you to heal. We must take the advantage of Captain Radlia's reinforcements and proceed with all haste. Did the demon drop you on your head, furball, without me there to run things? You'll just end up getting in Akira's way, and no one's making haste anywhere until we know what we're flying into. Again, Captain Radlia may hold the answer to that dilemma. I suspect that the island where she uncovered the Mahachi tome is the very location where Diablos has chosen to lair. This floating marvel I speak of is not a natural occurrence. It was constructed as a haven for refugees of the floods. The tomes makes very clear reference to the island's purpose and describes in detail the void sense sorcery employed in its creation. As the Void Ark never arrived at its destination, however, the island remained uninhabited. I can imagine no more suitable hideaway for our scheming fiend. Even better, Diablos will not expect us to suddenly arrive on his secluded doorstep. The Talon fleet will carve us a path through the lesser fiends, and we shall strike swiftly into the heart of the confusion to seize the Nullstone. Once the relic is secured, I will use its power to obliterate our devilish foe. As a Skypirate, you surely you understand how much an assault relies on speed and surprise. We cannot have a wounded companion slow us down and potentially doom the entire enterprise. So you think you're in charge now, do you, puss? Poor broken Leoford's just some deadweight you can't need to cut away? You know what? I've had a belly full of your mewing. In any case, go on, fly off without me, and see how far you get with your thrice damned enterprise. Captain Riley, compare the direction indicated by the ecto compass with your navigational records, if you please. I think we'll find the coordinates coincide with the island in question. Certainly, and feel free to board our flagship when you're set to depart. My darling's large enough to accumulate your venture, and her fellows with room to spare. Dunescape is now accessible. Alright. The last 24-man raid for Heavensward. I am excited. But first, let's talk to these. Let's see. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on the captain while everyone is off on this grand adventure without him. Are you certain you don't need me to go with you? This adventure's all yours, Akira. I'll be cheering for you from my sickbed. Like a good little pirate promise. Katsev was only talking common sense. The captain took it hard, but I think he knows it too. We're doing the right thing leaving him behind, aren't we? This is the way it must be, considering our need for haste and extent of Leoford's injuries. My conclusion was merely logical. Captain Redbill's primary concern should be securing the freedom of the skies, not limpering into almost certain death at the hands of the Void Sent. No matter how much he chafes at being excluded from the voyage. I acquire our splendid flagship after the Ishgarians saw fit to abandon her. I hear she was an attempt to match the airborne agility of their dragon enemies, but the vessel never did live up to expectations. When she passed to me, we replaced all their improvements with structural reinforcements and made ourselves a flying fortress. Our stately lass will not soon be knocked from the sky. Alright. Alright. We shall do this in the next episode. Till then, fare thee well.